Welcome, students, to Monk Meditation, the show about monks in the world of Warcraft.
Tier bonuses have been changed. Crane Stance seems to be missing from them. We're going to talk about non-raid stuff, and we try to do good for the community. Coming up on Monk Meditation, episode 47.
Here's your host, Chai T.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Monk Meditation. I am Chai T from Airy Peak, US. We've got a good show for you tonight. I was away last time, and the cat was away, and the mice sure did play in the salt mine, so I'm going to rein this in a little bit here. I'm a Windwalker and Mistweaver, not really extraordinary, but I'll pretend. But let's check in with tonight's host and how WoW is now in
Storm, Earth,
and fire!
All right, let's check in first with our Windwalker, number one, Daikatsu. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. I am slowly making my way up the great state of Florida. After 2 awful weeks playing Tetris with all my belongings, I loaded everything into a U-Haul van, drove for 4 hours through rain, through wind, through hail, but I pulled into Orlando, and now somehow I work here. Then finally on Friday, I got to log in, raid with Rolling Thunder, and we went 7 of 10 heroic. Coincidence? You better believe it.
All right, and going to Windwalker, number 2, but still also number 1 because he's awesome. Air, how you doing, sir?
Aw, I'm doing well. I hope everybody else is doing well. Hello, chat room. Nice to see. I'm looking at the chat room, not I'm looking at you guys. Hey, it's been good. I am back to Mythic raiding.
Yes!
Oh, it feels good. One problem. We're doing Beast Lord. We've seen a 1% wipe.
Oh.
However, we have been using the 3 tanking strategy, which means I have been brewmastering for it. Now, that might be changing soon, because I do prefer the walking of the wind, but the recruitment has gone really well. Things are just coming together. It's good to be back to where we want to be, so when 6.2 eventually hits, we should be able to rock out.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into Mythic myself. Speaking of Mythic, let's go talk to LeBlue. How's it going, sir?
It's going all right. I've got a lot of big changes for myself coming up here soon. I am moving next week to a new location of undisclosed Texas. With that, I'm also going to be stepping away from my raid team here.
Oh no.
And taking a bit of a break from Mythic for a few weeks, and then probably moving on to another raid team. More on that later. But otherwise, we got Mythic Transmog down.
Yay!
And y'all probably saw my kill video because I wouldn't stop showing it to you guys.
That's the one where you were the hero? Like, not just like the World of Warcraft style hero, but literally
like the
hero.
last man standing for the last million. Yes. Apparently
I think
that's
it was
relatively
at least 3 million.
It's apparently relatively common. I found a couple other videos just like it. I'm like, oh, that's a thing with brewmasters. So we got Chromog down, and then I got trained 69 times. So we got some wipes on Thogar. Might get it this week, might not. We'll see. Things happen. But otherwise going all right. And then Child do Rolling Thunder.
Yep.
But my other team, Over Easy, Air, you may remember.
Over Easy.
We're also getting things done. I'm not
Really?
monking, but I am resto shamaning. We are 8 of 10 normal, and 6 of 10 heroic.
Well done.
So
Nice.
we're rolling along. We almost got the band fully back together. So we're doing good. We're having a good old time though. Once a week as well.
I remember Over Easy style back in the old CTR days.
Mhm.
Yep.
That was good stuff. Sylvanas led a good team back then. Fighting you guys. What was it for? First,
We got first Garrosh. I think you guys
Yeah.
got first Galacrass. And then we never killed Galacrass. We fell off after Shaw of Pride because Shaw of Pride wrecked us, and it just kind of fell off from there. But yeah, I remember that there was a couple. It was like us, you guys, us, the Asparagus Initiative. We were all competing for
It's
those
good
first
fun
kills
back in the day,
CTR.
yeah.
Oh, it was a lot of fun. It was the 2 night teams and the morning team, and we were going at it. But yep, just a casual group right now. We're all in there. We have fun, and we crack jokes of the old days and tell Sylv to calm the F down. So good times.
And speaking of casual teams, Rolling Thunder. I am super proud of the team, though. 4th week working on Heroic, and we're already 7 of 10. And we had a couple of really good polls on Iron Maidens. Just we didn't have much time on it. So next week, I'm sure they're going down. And my other team, Rectified, we're actually getting a clear of the first 9 in under 2 hours, barring any technical hiccups, which seem to be plentiful on Saturday mornings for some reason. And we're getting Blackhand to phase 2, but not very cleanly. And I'm really not liking that fight very much as a melee, especially when we have a lot of melee. Because
Wait, you're saying a fight isn't melee friendly? Is that Chai?
I've never heard of that.
You wouldn't be insinuating that a fight would be designed to where it might not favor melee too much, would you?
I might
never
actually
happened.
be saying that.
That's literally never happened.
Chai,
Overcome adversity, deal with it.
you just struck my heart right now, Chai. Chai, did you ever try re-rolling Rogue? I hear they're good.
Get off the show
Chai?
now.
So we're looking for a new brewmaster.
Yeah, we have a spot for a new brewmaster.
Mazer, are you busy?
So,
I know.
I did get lucky. I got my 4-piece. Actually, I'm now on my 5-piece, so now I can switch in and out depending on Chi, Explosion, or Serenity, which is really nice. So I'm meh on Mistweaver on that 4-piece. I still don't know how to really use it effectively, but Windwalker, yay, more multi-strike.
Multi-strike's good.
Yes, I like it.
You
All
have that
right.
handy multi-strike calculator, don't you?
I do. I made that, and I'm happy about it. And luckily, not much change for the next tier, so it's still good. Oh wait, Tiger Strike's changed, didn't it? So I'm gonna have to go modify that.
We'll talk about that a bit later, I think.
I think we will. Well, now it's time to keep your spirits up while the world changes around you.
The sky is falling! The sky is falling!
Uplift. Don't worry, I'm sure it happens to other monks too.
All right, so we had some PTR changes that came out like immediately after our last podcast. Go figure. Brewmaster, they finally got their 4-piece unveiled, and their 2-piece got slightly modified.
That wasn't a real 4-piece? That wasn't a real 4-piece?
Oh, the
That
5,000%
looked legit.
HP?
Yeah, that looked pretty legit. That looked legit.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty fair balanced and ready to go live.
All right, so they've modified the 2-piece now. It says the Expel Harm has no cooldown when below 50% HP. Is that the same as it was last time, just different wording?
Yeah, memory serves. Yes, that's the same. It's the same thing. Just
Okay. All right.
more clear wording.
So what did you guys
So-
get for your 4-piece?
So what do you do? What Desperate Measures was?
Yeah, just Desperate Measures is now, instead of 35%, 50%. I don't think, if they're not specifically saying it procs Desperate Measures, I don't think it affects the glyph. But if it does affect the glyph, that could be a pretty unintended consequence of Awesome Sauce, I guess. So, but I'd be surprised if it affected the glyph at all. But the 4-piece now is every time you use Expel Harm, your guard cooldown is reduced by 5 seconds.
Oh, geez. Chain that with
Which
your
is-
2-piece.
So right now that is horribly broken, and it's
Yeah.
going to be tuned down. I'm suspecting closer to 2, maybe 3 seconds.
All right.
Maybe.
3 would be optimistic.
I like
So-
5.
So
What is the current cooldown on guard?
current cooldown on guard is 30 seconds to charge.
Okay, so 6
So-
Expel Harms and you have a guard back.
Now, assuming that guard doesn't get nerfed, which it still desperately needs, well, no. So this kind of plays into how they're slightly hot fix reworking brewmasters. I say hot fix reworking because they're kind of doing a couple major class changes. This kind of plays right into that. We're going to get hit harder up front, and the 50% mark is going to be a very easy one for us to hit to proc a very quick Expel Harm. So this kind of plays nicely with each other. And what this will almost effectively do once you get your 4-piece is allow you to completely remove jab from your bars. Good game. Have fun. Remove jab. Win.
It's a
So
waste of energy anyways.
so this will reward pooling even more than it already does, so that when you drop below 50, and it'll also, you'll do a little bit more DPS than Jab because Expel Harm is better in every way. I haven't seen Math run on, nor do I think Math will be run on this until a little bit later in the process.
Until we have a really confirmed nailed down one, yeah.
Inkling, like, first look goes, oh, this actually might be a slight damage buff because of how much damage you can do with Expel Harm with Resolve. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, with all the other nerfs, it might be roughly the same. I wouldn't be surprised if it came out we did a little bit more damage with our 4-piece, though.
So I'm finding this really interesting how the relationship with your healer to maximize the set bonus is going to have to change.
So you're going to have a Holy Paladin always bombing you. That's, for mythic groups, that's going to be a thing. We're going to get spiked significantly harder. To bring this in perspective, LeBlue has about 60% stagger on live right now. I'll have about 40% stagger in my current gear, so I'll probably be closer to like 43, 44% in full heroic, getting a few mythic pieces in Hellfire Citadel. I'm still probably going to get chunked for roughly 40% of my hit points every time I get hit and don't dodge. So I wouldn't say it rewards poor tank healing. I would say it's more of a reaction to the fact that we're not going to be taking physical hits like they're nothing anymore,
so
and we're going to get spiked a little harder.
How are you guys going to do until you actually get your 2-piece?
You mean, I would say that out of all the tanks, would probably be prioritized more, which then actually may be a bit of an undoing, only because you can do normal or heroic. It won't probably be that big a deal till mythic. And
by that time, you should have your 2-piece. So
by that time, you should have at least 2-piece.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's that big a concern. That being said, I have a slew of problems with this kind of change mid-expansion with things like challenge modes and whatnot, but that's obviously not what they're tuning the content for. The 2-piece kind of band-aids that all right. Just don't be surprised if we feel kind of like Death Knight's light.
Right.
That's kind of what I've been saying. It'll probably end up feeling like. By next show, I'll have for sure gotten some PTR time. I've been distracted, we'll say.
Okay.
And I'll have some PTR time and significant amount of time actually sitting at a training dummy, letting it wail on me and kind of seeing how it feels, particularly when they get that 2-piece out. Just right now, it's looking like we're doing less of we take the big hit and purify it, and more of we heal up a lot of the damage with our Gift of the Ox Orbs and Expel Harm than we do currently.
Right.
So
a lot more self-heals.
Be prepared for that little paradigm shift there for Brewmasters.
Okay. And with Mistweaver, they did nerf significantly the 2-piece, which really needed it because, what was it, a 25k heal every time you cast Renewing Mist on somebody? So now instead of 25k, it now scales with your spell power, which is nice, it scales, but it starts out at like 700 item level. Monkyo said his tooltip was saying 9k, which is still significant. And so Monkyo indicates this is going to be about a 2% throughput increase. As we get higher item levels and higher item levels, it should jump up quite well. Probably won't hit that 25k mark, but still going to be pretty nice. One thing I did want to touch on with the Mistweaver is, since I wasn't here last episode, was you guys did mention, though, that Crane Stance is gone from these set bonuses and the trinket.
What's Crane
Missing?
Stance?
Yeah.
Gone or missing? Gone would imply that...
No, like there's nothing in the trinket or the set bonuses that deal anything at all with Crane Stance.
Mm-hmm.
Either, which it's either they don't intend to and just leave it as it is, which would be a little sad, or they just haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah, that's my theory, is that they just haven't done the pass on DPS for healers. Like, I assume they'll do like the, Disc Priest and the Mistweaver stuff in a separate pass. And that's what I'm hoping for. I've reached out to Warcraft devs and I've reached out to Celestalon, but they have thus ignored me so far. So hopefully we'll get an answer back on that. So I know LeBlue, you were saying you think it's not coming.
This is my salt. Here's your disclaimer. I am still quite salty about some things. I don't think they're going to worry too much about crane stance for this tier. I feel like they think that it's fine as a side-off thing, and it's fine to be flavor for the monk, and there might be too many potential issues with them having to tune a ton around it as the gear gets higher, and it'll kind of work itself out through the gearing. So I honestly just don't think they're going to mess with it with tier bonuses or anything. I think they're just going to leave it alone, which is a little sad, but I guess not totally unexpected.
See, in my opinion, they went to great lengths in Tier 17 to make sure that we had a crane stance bonus in each of the tier pieces, and it was completely separated out. It's like, okay, here's your serpent stance, here's your crane stance. The 4-piece worked for both, but it works for both, which is one of the only things it can do. And I would feel it weird that they would do this kind of mid-shift change, mid-expansion between tiers, that they seem to really focus on crane stance going into Tier 17, and it is integral to the spec. If you're not in crane stance at least a little bit of a fight, you're going to run out of mana unless you get up to insane spirit levels.
See, and I think part of that is they were almost expecting monks earlier with less gear, spending more time in crane, which for a point was relatively mana neutral and acted as a sort of mana management tool, if you will, potentially. So they expected you to want to use crane some. And then as we get the higher gear levels, and now they have their wonderful spirit scaling off of Mana Tea, Spirit's going to go whack, and we can spend that extra mana on rushing Jade Wind more freely and whatnot. And I think they're balancing it, assuming that you're going to spend more of your time pumping out more throughput than you're going to spend in crane stance. I mean, shoot, they're still having issues forcing people to take 5 healers on a lot of mythic fights. So
I'm finding myself, I've been healing a little bit of the higher end heroic. I haven't gotten into mythic yet. Soon, hopefully, TM. But I spend a good chunk of my time in crane stance. I'm looking for positions in the fight to switch into crane, and I would hate to have that change. Like, that's one of the best parts about being a Mistweaver monk, is knowing when to switch in and out and having that ability to get up there in the DPS and do heals at the same time. A couple fights I'm loving where, like Beast Lord, I can stay in crane stance pretty much the whole time and still beat our Holy Paladin. So, but I would hate to lose that, so I'm hoping they do a pass, and I'm thinking they will, but we'll have to see.
It's just, I guess, that it's where they put it on how important it is. Is it really more than a flavor thing to them? Like, is it just a different flavor of Wrath spamming for a Druid or Denounce spamming for a Paladin?
We have a whole rotation. I hope that they take it a little bit more seriously.
I have a rotation as a Resto Shaman doing DPS. I mean, I don't know if they're going to put too much focus on it. And it might even come down to time. Because they had that extra time to kind of work it out and fix it, whatnot, in the beta. Right. They don't have that much time. Because I fully expect the PTR or 6.2 to drop on June 23rd with Heavensward. So that's not that much time.
Yep. As long as it doesn't happen when I'm on my honeymoon, I'll be all right. Okay, let's go to Windwalker. So we've got some, not really modifications, still the same ones, but we've got some numbers to go along with them. So, Air, what did the 2-piece end up being?
So, Windwalker, your 2-piece, your Rising Sun Kick now has a 40% chance to generate a combo breaker.
Yeah, and so originally this just said has a chance, and we had no idea what it was. Has a chance, yep. And we were thinking, that's kind of useless, but 40% is actually pretty good.
It's combo breaker. It's gonna be good. I'm excited.
All right, and Duke, what did the 4-piece end up being?
The 4-piece will now increase the chance for you to get combo breaker by 10%, because it used to be 3. And now it increases your maximum energy by 20 instead of 10. So now this actually makes it a little bit better than the LFR leather set.
So gnomes with Ascension have 140 energy?
Roughly.
Wow.
Yep.
Does that make them mathematically superior?
Yes, it does, actually, because now they can 3-jab without really taking a break.
With 130, you should be also able to 3-jab without taking a break. You should
You might need to pause for a second.
be less than a second, but still. All right, so what does this do in terms of 2 4-piece? Like, how do we want to really gauge this? I know Hina Lover's done some work on it. And no air, I'm sick and tired of editing the friggin' promo. Stop it.
That's okay. You didn't see Mazer in the chat room just write "no" in capital letters.
Oh, yeah, put down the eyebrows, air. Put down the eyebrows.
So what we're saying about the set is that basically 2-piece is a true upgrade over Tier 17's 2-piece. And even if we have it's an upgrade even if we have the Tier 17 4-piece.
So you'll want to break your 4-piece as soon as you get it. Okay.
You will want to break your 4-piece as soon as you get it. You also will want to run Tier 17 and Tier 18 2-piece as you move forward to your true Tier 18 4-piece.
Okay.
So, a 2-piece and a 4-piece is a 4-piece divided by 2 times
Stop.
4.
I think we broke them.
Yes.
Too many numbers.
Combo breaker.
But basically,
All right, so
it works out to about 0.5% increase if you're running mixed bonuses, and it's a full 1% increase with the new 4-piece, and that is at roughly the same item
that's what the
level for
same item
everything,
level. By the
right?
time you get to 4-piece, you're going to have way better gear.
Right, so
you're
this
gonna
is
be doing
this
way
is
better.
just we're talking mathematically. The bonuses themselves with the same stats, same items, same everything, they work out to be about a 1% increase over 4-piece, which
Okay.
is good.
Yeah,
It's
nice.
good to actually want to break your 4-piece.
Yep. All right. Well, anything else changed that I missed in the PTR?
Well, there's now a left shark pet, but I don't think we cover those.
No. Well,
Okay, I'm sorry. I have to
that's
ask.
why I
What's up
said
with
it.
Oh, God.
What's up with Left Shark? Really?
It's a Super
Why?
Bowl
Watch
thing.
the Super Bowl.
Who cares?
The internet cares.
The internet cares.
Internet's also stupid. Moving on.
Well, now, students,
You heard
it's
that
time to
here.
meditate and expand our knowledge in...
Transcendence.
All right, if you notice the show is a little bit loopy today, it's because some of us are feeling a little burned out, and we have to keep ourselves having fun.
Entertained.
Yeah, entertain and having fun. So this happens every expansion between patches when it just happens every time. And I actually love these times because it lets me play other games. It lets me do other things. And actually go out and explore the expansion that I haven't got to do before. So today we're going to talk about some things that you can do if you're also feeling burnout or just have some extra time to kill. First thing, in 6.2 we're getting mythic versions of dungeons. So this is going to be mainly a catch-up mechanic. The gear isn't going to be like huge. It's going to be less. I think it's 680. Is that right?
680, I think.
Yeah.
Is what we're saying.
So
So
that's-
for right now.
Yeah, that's going to be better than your normal Blackrock Foundry stuff. But if you're higher, it's not going to matter. But Mythic Dungeons, I like this because I like doing dungeons, but I don't like how brutal challenge mode is. So it'd be nice to get together with friends. Is this going to have an LFD, do we know?
We don't know that yet.
Don't
but
know yet.
It's looking like it will.
Okay. Yeah, I
mean,
think that would be fun.
Them basically, they don't have the time or resources to really devote to making it mythic, as in like my boss does now. This mechanic or whatever, it's mostly just a tuning up of numbers. So
But at least not like, at least like mop dungeons, they're not going to just stagnate.
no, they won't.
The
it'll
only
be-
problem they have though is that they are on a weekly lockout.
Yeah, you're not.
I thought that
gonna
was the
just,
time
like,
locking dungeons.
Spam.
No.
It's-
No.
No, the mythic dungeons have a weekly lockout.
Okay.
So you can get gear from. I don't know if it's actually get gear or just run them and be eligible.
Okay.
I actually don't know that for sure.
It's the last boss can drop a purple 700. I think the other ones drop somewhere in the neighborhood of like 690 or 680 or something like that.
I think
Yeah.
is what it's saying. Yeah.
So this gives
So-
a nice way for a new alt to not have to go in and do LFR, not have to go in and do raids when everybody's kind of moved on. You can get up to your...
They'll probably have to do LFR, but the thing is that it gives dungeons a little bit extra life once you've gone through the first 2 LFRs, right? So the progression will be for someone who is taking it easy and going the solo route. They'll go their dungeons, they'll do the heroic dungeons, then they'll jump into the LFRs, both Heimdall and Blackrock. Then they'll do the mythic dungeons and then jump into the Hellfire Citadel LFR.
The Hellfire, I see the Hellfire LFR is probably going to be, it's going to be easier, but it's going to be above the Mythic dungeons, because the Mythic dungeons are tuned for like 660 right now, or that's what they're trying to tune it around. That's a little high for LFR, so I would assume they're expecting you to have some normal Blackrock Foundry gear going into it.
The people who don't raid, they're already going to have about that 660 item level by now, because they're getting their Apexis Crystal stuff, they're getting their Garrison missions. And so they're going to have the gear to get in there and do that. And so it gives them something else to do as soon as a new patch comes out. So good for them. I'm glad. I will probably go through and run them once just for fun. And plus 700 is still an upgrade for a lot of pieces unless you're doing Mythic. So yeah.
I run them. Just to say kind of my piece on, I think Mythic dungeons aren't a bad idea. I kind of wish that they were pre-planned, I guess, for lack of a better way of saying it, before the expansion dropped, so that when they unlocked or opened up Mythic dungeons, the encounters had that extra bit of spice to them.
Right.
Yeah, because it's just a number increase.
But the
I
timing
understand
is
that they
good.
don't have the time. I understand they don't have the time right now to add that extra bit of spice to the encounters to make them better. But I kind of hope going forward in the other expansions, when they do unlock these Mythic dungeons that are supposed to be a bit better challenge and more additional content for something else to do, because we don't do dungeons anymore, but now you can do these Mythic dungeons. I hope that they have that extra thing that makes it worth running for even people like me. I don't need the gear, but if it's got something new to it, I wouldn't mind running it just to see the boss encounter being slightly different.
So which would you prefer, LeBlue? And I guess open to everybody here, but would you prefer that they came out with Mythic dungeons at launch with the new mechanics and everything, and you burn yourself out on dungeons doing heroics and then Mythic? Or would you prefer the timing to be shifted like this, so that you go back to it after you've kind of been done with them for a while? And so
I think
spices
this is better.
Yeah,
I think this is better, because I haven't done a dungeon in like 3 months.
Right.
So if they told me, oh hey, here's Mythic dungeons, and they have an extra mechanic or two on each fight, like I know there is one fight I know for sure has changed. Upper Blackrock Spire, Zayla. Mm-hmm. There are now 4 dragons that come up on that platform, and there's a single safe spot on the Mythic difficulty of it. Like if I heard
that's a good change.
If I heard there was like that for like every boss in the instance, and it wasn't just a strict numbers change, I'd go back and run all the dungeons, because it's different enough, and I haven't done it in long enough to where it's like, oh well, that's something for me to do one afternoon. Just go and see them.
Right.
I might stop playing.
If you're currently doing Mythic Blackrock, the Mythic dungeons don't really hold much for you.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of wondering, who are the Mythic dungeons really aimed for? Because if they're aimed towards the people that are kind of doing LFR and a little bit of normal, they're not really going to care too much about Mythic dungeons, other than to log in, go with a random group, and then get yelled at. Because they're not in Mythic gear.
Hellfire Citadel. Depending where they put Hellfire Citadel's LFR, I could see it complementing that fairly well. That's probably what the aim is to complement.
Well, everything seems to be going up, 10 item levels? So...
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, so
something
675?
Yeah, so 660 is... So if 660 is the new LFR, which makes it strange, because if it's only 10 item levels, there's a 15 item level gap between... Highball and Blackrock.
I would say so. 660 is the highest you can get from BRF from the set pieces. I wouldn't be surprised if it was 675, or even 680.
Well, 665 is current Blackrock LFR.
Or normal.
No, Blackrock normal is 670 right now because of the item level.
Right. Okay.
Blackrock Foundry LFR is 655, 660 for the sets.
All right.
The LFR sets.
They're saying in the dojo, Rizzo says LFR is 685.
Okay.
So Hellfire Citadel will be 685.
So this would complement that, and you can get that 700 from the last
So that
boss.
700
Yeah,
is
so
a
the
bonus,
dungeons will be the
and
same as the was it going to be
That's the LFR.
normal? Well, you can get the 700 pieces, which would be
There's
the same
only
as normal.
There's only going to be one 700 piece. It comes from
Right.
the last boss.
Right,
Everyone
but
else
you'll still
drops
get-
680, so the 700 is going to be a little bit bonus. It's nothing more than you would have gotten if you had done a cache with the Garrison.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on to. So another thing you can do is challenge modes. I haven't touched these at all. I know LeBlue, you spammed them a little bit. early on.
Well, at the beginning, really should do these because I have to say right now there is a fantastic looking pole arm
Yeah.
from the challenge modes that I to this
Mm-hmm.
day I kick myself in the butt for not doing because it actually looks really freaking cool. And I see some people having it, like Death Knights and Rep Paladins and even other monks having it, and I'm like, that is really cool. But I need to log on some other time than raid. So if there's something to do, honestly,
Yeah.
if you are not against logging on outside of raid time, that's a good thing to do.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Put together a team of 5, go in there, have fun. So I'll give you a warning. Mistweavers, have fun.
Brewmasters, get it done before 6.2.
Yes.
Do it before 6.2.
Yeah.
Otherwise, 6.2, Windwalker.
Yeah,
Everyone go
Windwalker
Windwalker.
is going to have a lot of fun in there.
Mistweavers, go Windwalker.
Yeah, Mistweaver is doable if you have a cohesive team. If your team is not making mistakes, and especially if you go in with a lot of ranged, melee gets hurt a lot in those dungeons.
Yeah.
So if you go in with a lot of ranged and your team is cohesive, you can do fine as a Mistweaver. But if you're kind of
you'll be able to
plugging in,
complete it.
you're going to be in pain.
Gold might be rough, even with that comp. It's the kind of thing where 0 mistakes needs to be made.
Right.
So if you're looking to get the Transmog sets as a Mistweaver, good luck. People have done it. I'm not saying it can't be done.
Yeah. It's
Saying
harder.
that You might
You
want to
have
go
some
Windwalker.
challenge. Yeah.
It's super challenge mode.
And just kind of to complement the CMs, if you really want to if you want to play the min-max game without rating, you can min-max
Oh,
a set
yeah.
of gear for
Mm-hmm.
challenge modes through dungeons.
Yep.
So
Yep.
there's that little bit of extra kind of tail to that if you really want to go
Do
ham
the
with
sockets count in
it. No,
challenge
no
mode?
sockets, no tertiary, no warforged. So
There
you
you
don't need
go.
to worry about that. You just need to get the
Yep.
piece. So if you really want to go full ham with it, you can, and it's not that unreasonable.
Enchants,
Unless you're
do
buying
enchants
the
count?
alchemy trinket.
Yeah.
Hey, I have that.
All right, so another thing you can do is alts, level alts. And if you're leveling a monk, you've picked
Should be.
right, because they are the easiest things to level besides maybe Death Knight.
Oh my god.
Or if you're like-
Mathematically easiest.
Or
So
if
this
you're
is
like
this is
me,
not opinion. This
you
is
already
mathematics.
have 10 level 100s, and most of them have fully functional level 3 garrisons, and you want nothing to do
Okay.
with alts.
If you're not LeBlue,
Yeah, if you're not level,
you can level alts.
and if you have some cash going
and if
around,
you are LeBlue, why?
if you have some cash lying around, or if you have some real money cash, you can sell a blue a token, and get some gold.
Keep me playing WoW.
Yeah.
Sell me tokens, because that's literally the only way I'm going to still play sometimes.
Under
So-
20K. Just saying.
Yeah, they're under 20K right now. But get some heirlooms, because now the heirlooms you
I
can
just sold
purchase
some glorious
all
light
with
guards.
gold. If you do dungeons, you get some tokens that will upgrade those to 90 to 100. And so get your heirloom gear for it. And here's an interesting thing: if you wanted to level up as Mistweaver, if you have the cloth set, it works. So
It's not to like
You don't
50,
get the
get
5%,
specialization
but
anyway.
you don't get the
Honestly,
5%, but you burn through those dungeons so quickly.
cares?
So if you don't want to dump gold on all the leather set, just use your cloth set and you're fine.
Scumbag. You Scumbag.
But yeah, you get the daily to go up to the Peak of Serenity, and you get your XP buff, and you get double. If you go Panda, you get double rested XP. You can level up 1 to 100 so quickly with a monk. So good times for
It's just-
all.
Like
If you
like
really
Bear
wanna-
says, mathematically, it takes the shortest amount of time to level a monk.
Yep.
If you really want to break it down into bite-sized chunks, and take this from somebody who's leveled way too many monks, I don't even want to tell you how many monks I have at 90 or above right now, because it's kind of I might have a problem. But a really manageable way to do it: the buff is 1 hour, So you log on for the day, you get your daily, level for an hour. Hour's up, you're done. Go park yourself in an inn, get some rest experience, wait for the next day. Hit a 10 level gap. Congratulations, you can level another hour efficiently.
Yep.
And you can just not burn yourself out on leveling with like that.
Yep. It's good times. All right, another thing we can do is do a transmog. Go transmog hunting. So
Yep.
Air is like, yes. So
Good stuff to do.
yeah, I've been enjoying the
Transmog
transmog
gold.
sets from WAD. There's a really nice like Mistweaver type set with the supple leather that I'm rocking now. So
Yes, the
down-
crafted sets are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Much better than anything that you can get out of just random drops or something like that.
if you're really into transmog, get a salvage yard. You'll get a lot of
Yes.
transmog pieces out of that. Unfortunately, the monk set that they give you, the shoulders and the gloves, which are invisible, don't get transmogged. They won't let you do
I'm
that.
hoping they finally fix that bug.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't think they want
It's
to.
literally a
It's not a-
it's literally a bug. There
It's
is
one they
no
don't want to
art.
fix.
No. There's no art attached to those items. Here's how you can see the bug in progress. Equip something with shoulders in the preview, and then do a preview on the Mistweaver shoulders. The shoulders that you just did the preview on will not change because there's no art to replace them. Since there's no art to replace them, they're invalid for transmog.
Okay.
There's a
That's the
couple
bug.
classes with that too. Like we're not even unique in that. I think hunters.
Yeah,
have
hunters
something
have
like
the
that.
same problem with shoulders
Yeah,
too.
but
So
they've
it's-
fixed it. I mean, they've done it because there's the invisible boots you can get
Yep, the
that
troll
do it.
boots.
Yep, the troll
The,
boots.
the-
So
the real troll feet.
Those are special cases.
yep. So
They
hopefully,
They need to make all the other ones special cases as well.
yeah.
I'm sorry, Blizzard. I don't want giant spikes on everything. Please, Blizzard, please.
So
I don't
Wowhead.
want to be a player for football.
Wowhead has a really good tool for transmog. Also, Mogit. Get Mogit.
Oh, it's so good.
That is like the best transmog add-on you can get. You can search through by look, by color, by type, and it'll tell
And
you,
then
give you a wish
when you
list on
complete-
where to go.
When you complete your wish list items and you have your outfits all set up, you get Mogit to transmog, and you turn those into ready-made suits that you can just click a button and it transmogs you into that.
Yep.
That add-on is the greatest.
Yeah. One thing I really wish we had for transmog is per spec transmog. So I use a lot of the same gear, actually all of the same gear for my Mistweaver as I do my Windwalker. And it'd be wonderful if when I switch to Mistweaver I could have a different transmog than Windwalker, because I can't count the number of friggin' times I've gone into a fight as a Mistweaver in my friggin' Windwalker gear because it looks friggin' same.
I just want a plate kini for my monk when I go Blood Elf, please.
I got one the other day.
That's what morose polish is for.
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
Don't laugh like that, Blue.
All right, so another thing you can try to do, and I know Air has attempted this, and I'd be interested to see how he's fared, getting monk followers.
You mean treasure hunter followers?
Well,
Treasure Hunter
so
monk followers.
I accept that.
I'm resource capped, and so I've had to actually get rid of my inn, and I wasn't getting all the monk followers. I don't have faux show knuckle bump.
No.
Which I'm
You
very
failed. You failed.
So once I'm
Mazer's not
finished
happy.
with my Gladiator Sanctum and my Nemesis quest, which I must finish before 6.2 because that's going to be a complete
Pain in the butt.
yes. To do once that's set up, then I'll probably get an in again and start recruiting my all monk garrison.
Okay.
There's
So.
3 monk followers right now?
More than that.
There's more
Are
coming
there?
in, but
Oh, yeah,
I'll
the
give
end
you
you can
guys
get a
a
bunch more.
I'll give you guys a tip that it took me like 3 months to realize this, but if you go to Storm Shield, I don't know where this is for the horde, so I apologize.
He got added in 6.1.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you go to
That is
Storm
how-
Shield, go to the main place where you have all the reputation guys. There's this panda monk just chilling out in front of to the left of the door, and you just go talk to him, and you get a monk follower. There's a Mistweaver. So
I talked to him because I thought, and this leads into our next topic, that maybe there might be some monk story going on.
Yeah.
in Draenor. But
Does he have Treasure
no.
Hunter? That's what's important. Does he have Treasure Hunter?
You can roll it.
You can re-roll it.
If he
can roll
if
it,
he doesn't
yeah.
have Treasure Hunter, he's useless to me, and he can go to the wherever the rest of the one. I'm pretty sure they go in the Garrison.
To the salt mines. They go
They
to
go
the
to,
salt
yes,
mines.
I send them to the salt mines if they don't have Treasure Hunter because they're useless to me.
Bring me salt.
Lots of it.
That's what he yelled. Bring me salt. I don't nearly have enough for the MMOC forums.
It does.
Have
My
we talked
screen,
about
my screen
whether-
doesn't say deactivate. It says send to salt mines. That's when I right click
He
it.
modded
for
that.
deactivate. It says
He learned
send to
Lua
salt
just
mines.
for
All right,
that.
error.
Yes.
What error?
I was gonna say, have we talked about the lore implications of whether or not the water around Draenor is freshwater or saltwater?
I
Well,
want to say it's salt water.
I'm pretty sure with the amount of salt I've been dumping into it, it's salt water.
It's become uninhabitable around Blue's Garrison. Is what we're
Right.
hearing.
Yes.
Okay.
Nothing is alive. Everything is dead or miserable. I make sure one
when
of those
he
two.
builds that dock coming in 6.2, the submarine is just going to float and bob along the surface.
Before it instantly rusts.
And we're going to use
Right.
giant salt balls to weigh it down so that it actually sinks. Because we need to do something with it.
Jeez.
We have all this salt.
All right, so yeah, we were hoping that panda was there for lore. Apparently not. He's there to
No.
work in your mine.
Unless he has treasure hunter.
But there is one monk that I know of, or at least one Pandaren, out in what was it, Urel's Watch?
Yeah, in the Grand.
Yeah, in the
Oh,
Grand.
there was the random panda. Is like, dude, are you lost?
Yeah.
Like he's just chilling there. It's like you're not an orc or a space goat.
Yeah, like all of a sudden I walk in there, it's like, oh, what is this Shadow Pan guy doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's just helping lift the boxes and move them from one side to the other. Oh, okay, that's what you do with monks now. That is
You know what
Pandaren.
he'd be really good
Every day
at?
he's shuffling.
He'd
Yeah,
be
pretty
really
much.
good at working in my salt mine. I need to get him down there.
You, sir, you have excellent box moving skills. Have you thought about moving boxes with salt?
So
It's-
yeah,
I
no
always-
other monks represented in the WoD lore at all that I have seen.
Are we surprised?
Our
though?
story's done.
Because they did say that there wasn't really going to be anything. I'm pretty sure someone
mean,
even asked that, and they were like,
Let's ask the Alliance Worgans about how their story is doing.
"So Cataclysm happens."
All right, the undead habit.
Yeah.
So
No, this is
it's
pretty
done.
much standing operating procedure. The story is done. If you want to know what happened to what is it, Ansa, Aya, and G, the answer is that they made up, but then they went back to their respective cities.
Oh boy. Yeah.
So,
As
Right.
as Rizzo said in the dojo, yeah, they don't really do class lore. Look at Death Knights.
Yeah, the Death Knight lore pretty much ended with ICC.
so much build up and excitement.
The last thing you saw was Darian Mogring go, "Congratulations for killing the Lich King. Would you like a mount?"
No. He's a daily giver now, and you're in. He's moved
That's
up in
right.
the world. He gives
That's
you a
right.
daily. Yes. Good job, Darian. You moved up in the
Yeah.
world. I'm proud of you.
Like Paulie says, if you want a continuing story, be an orc.
Right.
Soloing mob content. Let's talk about
Yeah,
that.
soloing mob
No,
content.
this is good fun. This is something
Yeah.
that's quite enjoyable.
All right, so I haven't gone into soloing of it, but it seems like it'd be totally doable. Like Mogashan Volts, even as like a Windwalker, Mistweaver.
MSV 10 man
MSV's
Windwalker.
definitely doable. Terrace of Endless Springs, doable. I haven't tried Heart of Fear. I know a lot of Throne of Thunder is doable. And if
Right
you
now, we're
want to go,
talking about normal. For heroic, it's a little bit harder. MSV, you can usually get down on heroic. Shaw heroic is rough.
I could see Elegon being soloable by a Brewmaster, but that's about it.
I think anything could solo him because you'd push
Anything
him so
could solo
quickly.
him. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
break him as a brewmaster.
Yeah,
like
on normal,
completely
forget it.
break
I know
the fight.
people that do weekly runs for him just to
Yeah.
get them out.
Yep, that's essentially what I'm doing right now too.
Yeah.
And what's really nice is even if you're moderately geared, I'd say maybe 660, 670, you can get into, the Tot.
Yep.
Second boss is Horadin.
Yeah.
And the ads can be a bit of a trouble, but you can just keep pushing Horde in as fast as possible. Maybe bring a single DPS friend and just go ham on them. And that's a chance for a mount right there.
Yeah,
Which is
so
really cool. G-Kun's a bit harder to get to, though.
Something I learned since the last time I was on the show, G-Kun and Hordon drop mounts.
They do.
I've had the
They
Horde
drop
on mount
themselves
for a
as
while,
mounts.
Yeah.
What's funny is
Do you
we
like
did
a chicken mount?
I learned this
after
from
last week's
Air.
show. Yeah. We did a guild run, to do Tot Heroic, just for funsies. And in that single run, the Horde and mount dropped, the G-Kun mount dropped, and the snail toy dropped.
Oh my god!
You got Jerry the Snail?
One of our friends got Jared the Snail.
I've seen Jerry
Nice.
once. Wow.
I've never
up-
seen Jerry.
Rolled a 99 in the Horde and mount. And our
Hate for it.
amazing rogue Devori won the G-Kun mount.
Nice.
Yeah.
You,
so
wait,
again,
you gave something
another
to a rogue?
That sounds
Don't
like
encourage
the one
them.
time I killed Mythic Garage after 6.0 and the mount dropped, and I won one of them. So I never have to go into that instance for anything
remember
ever
that.
again.
I remember
it's
that,
just
dude.
Another
Do
case,
you?
I do. Gave you a taste. Just a taste.
It's another
It was
case
alright.
of a rogue stealing Windwalker gear.
Yep, absolutely.
Isn't that
Scumbags.
always?
All right.
So
But no,
other
it's
than
a
solo
lot of good
mob
mounts.
content, what else do we do? Because I know I've been playing a lot of Elite Dangerous, and I've actually gotten kind of into Star Wars: The Old Republic a little bit. What other games are people playing?
Well,
Well, I know the Blues answer.
there's this other MMO that I've been very casually playing, actually, called Final Fantasy XIV. Might have heard about it. Has an expansion coming out, which also could probably end up being the launch date of 6.2. Been playing that a good bit. Like I said, I log on for like an hour, pop in, do a daily dungeon or trial, which is like a one-off boss, call it a day. And then I've been going full ham on Diablo 3. Been playing my seasonal hardcore Demon Hunter. Just this close from a Greater Rift 45. But yeah, that's D3 has been my like go-to for anti-burnout from WoW since Cataclysm, when I got D3 for free from the year pass. So that's my big thing. Also been doing Hearthstone, Blackrock Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Very slowly getting the gold for that because I'm not putting money on that, but very slowly getting the gold for that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
So,
fun.
I've been doing Elite Dangerous as well, GTA 5. Been
Nerd.
playing with, and also a little Shadowrun Chronicles, which just came out.
Nerd.
Yes. So Shadowrun Chronicles, it's a co-op, top-down action RPG, and similar to like XCOM. So it's a lot of fun. The problem is that apparently they're getting a lot more traffic than they expected. So it's like you click on something and it says, "Okay, I want to move here." Yeah, I
Eventually.
moved.
Exciting, visceral combat.
Yes. And Air, what about you?
WoW and Destiny. I still have a lot to do in this game. Like, I mean, mythic progression. I got running a lot of the old content for fun. I've leveled my paladin, and so I've been pally tanking and retributioning for fun on another team for just to help out, and it's a good group of people.
Mm-hmm.
So this burnout, like, I don't really have.
Yeah.
There's a lot to do, a lot to cool. There's
I am
stuff that
still
I'm
having a ton
fun.
of fun in the game. When I'm playing it, I'm having a ton of fun. But it's like other days when I'm not raiding, I kind of log in. I'm like, all right, I'll click my Garrison stuff, and okay.
No, see, I'm a monk. We are the best class in the world of Warcraft. This is a fact.
But we are.
It's true.
But I play
like
DK on Fridays now.
Well, I like that I said that, and then Duke, you echoed it back to me, and I imagine you guys would echo that too. This chamber of echoing. It's great. I love this.
I would really like it if my spec was fun to play. But don't mind me.
I told
I'll
you,
be
just
here,
go
my salt
Mistweaver, man.
mines.
Just go Mistweaver.
So
It's
there's
actually
a lot to do still.
It's
definitely.
actually funny. A month ago, Mist was like, "Hey, you should come Mistweave for my guild," and I'm like, you realize it's been like 2 years since I last rated as a Mistweaver. He's like, yeah, weren't you complaining about not being a Mistweaver? I'm like, you know I'm not a Mistweaver anymore, right? It's like, yeah, but you said you wanted to Mistweave 2 years ago. I'm like, Mist, go away.
You know,
All
we have some
right.
interesting things to look forward to in 6.2. We got a
Yep.
lot of patch notes coming up. We got people working on stuff on the forums, specifically Chi-Burst, which I know you'll talk about soon, but there's a lot of neat things to be looking forward to when it comes to monkeying about.
That's why I'm taking this time to play my other games and get them out of the way, and then can focus when 6.2 comes out and have fun. That's what I do all the time. It's like patch drops. I spend all my time in WoW, and then
And BlizzCon
slowly
soon.
mix in other stuff. Yep.
And we should see an expansion announcement soon, like
would
Gamescom
imagine
maybe.
so.
Gamescom, we might even see something about it.
I really doubt we're going to see an announcement in Gamescom. We're going to see the announcement in November with BlizzCon.
But they need time for beta, and if it's the going around, so the going around theory is like January. There is no way on anything's green Earth that 2 bloody months is enough. We saw Warlords beta. They need a lot of time.
We're not getting a new expansion in January. A new expansion.
I agree. I don't
There's
think so either.
no chance of that. We might get a new expansion in April.
Or next December.
No, I don't think it's going to take. I don't think it's.
See,
gonna take
my
that.
pet theory is we're getting another raid after this.
18.
Yeah, I
no,
don't think
so.
that-
We're gonna get
I'd
a
be
mini raid.
shocked.
Yeah.
Because it would be a Sunwell. They'd literally have to slap something together.
I
real quick.
honestly don't think that...
Sunwell wasn't slapped together. If you want to talk slapped together, we can always go back to Ruby Sanctum.
I honestly don't think that the ending that they have indicated in the raid is a sufficient enough ending for the story of Warlords.
Yeah.
They've been aiming for 2 tiers. I think they're going to succeed. Whether they should succeed on that, as in they just let it happen or not.
Let's put it this way. Why do we assume that the end of the story will happen in the raid?
Because it always has.
So what's to stop them from doing a 6.3 with some new content and calling it a day there? Because by the end of 6.2, we still will not have dealt with Gul'dan.
Right. That's what I'm
We
saying. It
still
doesn't
will not
have,
have dealt
doesn't
with,
have the ending
with
that we need.
Grom. So
we don't
there's
know if
going to be more content coming in 6.3, but there's no reason why it's going to be a raid.
So far as we know, the legendary ends in 6.2, though.
Yeah.
Just
Exactly.
because the legendary ends doesn't mean that's
But the legendary is the expansion long quest line, and I
Yeah.
think that's a pretty
we
good
only
indicator.
we only have
It's-
one expansion worth of precedence for that, though.
That's the goal of it. Is to
How
be
are
the
you going to
expansion.
improve the legendary? A super
gonna be-
legendary?
bloody $7.95 already?
Something
like
like
it's-
that, yeah.
It's gonna be freaking
Which will still be really
ridiculous.
good for going into the next year.
I don't
But,
think there's
all
no
right.
tier after
I think
this.
we've worked that one to death. We all have differing opinions. So, all right, it's time now to travel to the Peak of Serenity, the home for all monks in.
Zen pilgrimage.
Monks, assemble!
Speaking of Chi Burst, thanks for bringing that up, Air. I'd like to, every week or every episode, bring up a thread from Chi Burst. We want you guys to go there to discuss, to theorycraft, to talk about new changes, everything like that. We want to move as much of the community, the monk community, away from MMOC to Chi Burst as possible. Get a little less toxicity in there. So Hina Lover and Callie have got together in the Windwalker theory crafting thread and are talking about 6.2 changes. And the thread is great for keeping up to date. So every time there's a new PTR build, they're throwing the new numbers up, they're throwing new sim crafts up, changes regarding set bonuses, trinkets, stat weights. The big mover in stats right now is versatility. It's making a strong move up the stat weight. So we'll see if that sticks around. So if you want to get in on that discussion, see what's going on, go to chiburst.com and go to the forums. Definitely keep up to date with that. Have you guys looked into this at all?
Very much so. There's a lot of really good information on there.
Yeah, absolutely. Aaron, have you gone in?
Just the idea of
I have
versatility is
not
just...
been G-Burst as much as I really should be, so I will be getting back to. I've taken a small gander at it, but I need to really dive in and get to the meat of the situation.
Yep.
I took like a couple hours to put together a decently sized feedback post on the WoW official forums, and I also transplanted said post onto Chiburst as well, to open it up to more discussion, because I understand that even the act of typing on the WoW official forums can actually cause cancer in some people.
Right.
So I wanted to make sure that it was also visible in a very safe to see area where people wouldn't have their senses offended.
Yep.
So it's there for you, friends. I did it for you.
Yep, go check that out at sheburst.com. All right, I know Zels. Met him at BlizzCon. He's doing some fun stuff. Duke, I'm assuming you put that in?
Yeah, so he is participating in St. Jude's Play Live fundraising event, which started on May 1st. He's put together some open raid events for people to join him. He's also going to be playing some different games. I know he was playing Heroes of the Storm on Saturday. Last I checked, he's raised almost $1,000 in just the first weekend. And this is going to be an event that goes on for at least a couple of months. But yeah, if you want to participate in his live streams, you can go to Open Raid. You can find his events. He's on the front page. You don't have to donate to attend, but if you can't donate, spreading the word is just as good.
Yep. So he used to play a monk. Met him at BlizzCon. Awesome guy. So get out there and help the community. All right. And speaking of the community, if you are looking for a monk, your guild is looking for a monk, we actually happen to know a few, just a couple of them. So we can send them your way. So if you're looking for a monk for your guild, reach out to us at show@monkmeditation.com and we'll shout out on the show. Just like these two teams. Thunderbillies at thunderbillies.org is looking for a Windwalker monk with an off-spec Fistweaver for Mythic rating. Yay, Fistweavers! They are currently 2 of 7 Mythic, and that may be higher now since I put this in, and 1 of 10 Mythic Blackrock Foundry. The raid times are Tuesday at 1800 server and Sunday at 1730 server. Their server is a combined server, so it's Deathwing, Caligos, Shattered Halls, and Executus. All of those servers will work together. So you can apply on the site. Again, that's thunderbillies.org. You can also address questions to Mota or Zengshi. The battle tag is Mota, M-O-T-A, #1533, if you would like to talk that way. Necrosis on Thunderlord server is looking for a Windwalker or a Mistweaver for casual heroic raiding. They are Horde side, and they raid Thursday and Friday at 7 to 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right, did we have any questions in the dojo that we missed?
One more team.
Oh, yeah.
One more team.
That's right.
As it turns out, guys, working as intended, WAIRaid.com is looking for an experienced Mistweaver monk to help round out our healing team as we progress through Mythic Blackrock Foundry and eventually Mythic.
Must also know Windwalker so that Eric can go full-time brewmaster.
No.
Yes.
No. Anyways, yeah, so it's Sunday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, converting back to U.S. times, 5:30 to 8:30 Pacific time
Which is server
on
time.
U.S. Airy Peak. So, shoot me a message if you're interested. We need a Mistweaver. So,
Yeah, if only those
I'm
days
done.
worked out for
Windwalker.
me. Yeah. All right. Well, if I didn't see anything in the dojo that we missed, scrolling back.
What was your favorite part of the salt mines? Let me know. I give tours regularly.
Oh boy! All right, guys. I think it's time to put the brew away. And my audio isn't working at all. One moment.
Quick revival. No?
Revive it.
They must have nerfed it again. Darn it.
we need audio transcendence.
We need a real raid cooldown. Someone get a trank, quick.
There we go.
Nothing.
All right, guys, it's time to put the brew away. Please rate us on iTunes, Stitcher, subscribe on YouTube, or on Twitch.tv. And if you would like to help support the show, you can help it grow and get even better. You can become our boss by going to patreon.com/monkmeditation. You can help guide the future of the show and get some fun rewards along the way. Just like our Patreon Nibbler. Thank you so much for your support. We do appreciate it. All right, Air, got any shout-outs?
A shout out to Spencer HD, Mazer, Karn, Bunch, Huge Idiot, and Kalani visiting from my raid team to say hello in the Monk Meditation Twitch chat tonight.
Why you gotta be so rude and call him a huge idiot? Come on now.
No, really, our disc priest, his name is Huge Idiot.
Okay, Disc Priest, I can understand that. All right,
I mean,
Duke.
it's great. It's great.
Yeah.
Well, I have an anti-shout out to give to the Peak of Serenity IRC because they would not say that Star Wars sucks.
Because
we know
Star
which is
Wars
the better
than
one.
Star Trek. Duh. Come at me.
So we're looking for a new brewmaster.
we're forcing the curse at this point because we've got to get rid of me.
Oh, jeez. All right, shout out to friend of the show, Quillen, for getting down Mythic Blackhand. Congratulations.
That's right. Yeah, I was talking about that last
Congrats.
time. They got him. They got him.
Yep, that was a
Congrats.
thrilling fight there. Also, shout out to the My Epic Heals podcast. I will be on that next Sunday, hopefully. I was supposed to be on yesterday, but there was something came up with somebody and didn't happen, so hopefully that will happen next week. I'm also going to be on the Converted podcast about the Convert to Raid Guild on Airy Peak next Monday to discuss Rolling Thunder.
Woohoo!
All right. And LeBlue, got any shout-outs?
I do. And
Ordnance.
this is me going back to being a little bit more sullen. A really deep, big thank you to my guild for putting up with me for 3 years and some months now. I've known several of the people in there, and they've had to deal with my ego and being an idiot sometimes. And I'm definitely going to miss them as I move on from premeditated, whether that be just stopping mythic raiding or moving on to another guild. So thanks for all the times.
All right, as part of the Monk
Now that I made
community,
one
if you
sad.
have a blog, website, or person you want to see on the show, please reach out to us via email at show@monkmeditation.com. The Monk community is the best one in the world of Warcraft, even if it is just our echo chamber, and we want to showcase it. Duke, how can the dojo best reach us?
You can find us on Twitter. You can follow the show at monk_meditation. You can follow Chai T at WowMonk. Air can be found at Airwalker. I can be found at Daikatsu CTR, no underscore. LeBlue is at Kaguri_LeBlue. And our producer Adam is at Geek of Random.
All right, thank you all for listening. You can watch us live Monday, May 21st at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, midnight UTC at twitch.tv/WowMonk. You can also visit monkmeditation.com for links to all the ways to watch and listen to the show. That wraps up this episode of Monk Meditation.
May your brews be strong and your heart stronger.
Night, everybody.
I rolled a 20.